Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Unpopular Review Entertainment. Tonight, we will be reviewing none other than, I'll say this, the culmination of Rocky, the actual end, the very end, to the first story of the one and only Rocky Balboa. Hey, thank you for that. I was going to look at it. Uh, yeah, join us as we talk about Rocky 6, aka Rocky Balboa. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And tonight we'll be reviewing Rocky Balboa. Let me introduce to you my co-host for this evening. Now, first I have if she was Italian, she'd definitely be a stallion because wow, she's got a lot. She's got some Italian beef. What is going on? Your Lorelai coming through with the BGE energy tonight. Okay. Okay. I love it.
I'm
I love
actually so pleased that you guys found my name funny. That's exactly what it was meant for. I feel like it's fitting. Like this is a great Italian hope
it. Mm-hmm.
saga.
Mm-hmm.
Um, watched three black men get beat. One get beat to death, and
Mm-hmm.
now we're like vehemently against, not against, for this American hero, this Italian man who beats black men, Rocky Balboa.
Facts.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Now, also joining us this evening is none other than Mr. Mike Knox, Triple X or Double X. For some reason there's a debate on that, but I'm still good with the Triple X, ladies and gentlemen, because you already know.
Whoa.
Well, it's three X's because I'm hardcore, baby.
I
That's
see.
why. So,
I know.
and,
Okay.
and I think it's so funny because damn, he beat Apollo's ass. He beat Mr. T's ass.
Oh,
He
that
did
is
beat him.
four.
He
Wait, is
did.
that three or four
That's it's
now?
three. It's
It's
three out
three.
of the
It's
six
three.
fights was the
All
black
right.
man. So it's about 50-50,
50
right?
50. It's as long as it's
Now,
even, that's
He
now,
fine.
had black trainers.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
So, but what's going on, guys?
chilling. Now, I mean, personally, okay, Rocky Balboa to me was just a very big part of the American experience as a child, and mind you, I moved into an Italian neighborhood. You can already tell. 1980s, Rocky Balboa was huge. So over the years, at least for me personally, I became attached to this character. And when the movie came out, I was very happy to see it because honestly, I always felt like Rocky Five wasn't necessarily the best way to finish this, or at least to finish this story. And when Rocky Balboa came out in 2006, I was very, very excited. I went to the movies and everything to see this. And little did I know that this movie was going to lead to like some of the most inspirational quotes I've ever seen in my life. To things that just stick with me till this day. To things that like make posters like insane. It just and mind you, like this movie is not necessarily um one of the top Rocky movies, but however, I recommend that anybody watch it because it is a very, very inspirational story. And spoiler alert, absolutely love this movie. I think it's amazing. I'm like, watching it again, like now, because yeah, it's great, because I mean, like, see, look, after so many fights and so many years and so many ups and downs, they pretty much just bring you back to part one and bring you back to things that had happened all throughout the years. You see bits and pieces of Adrian, and unfortunately, in this movie, Adrian is dead. She passed away. His son is grown, but then his son is like trying to shy away from the Balboa name and make a name of his own. you know. But he's letting people point a finger in his face, unfortunately, you know.
Mhm.
And then Paulie, he's basically, and it's unfortunate for Paulie because Paulie, after so many years, and this is something that resonates with a lot of people, you know, after so many years of busting your ass for a company, the only thing they give you is a pat in the back and maybe a Rolex, and then not even that anymore. You know, so like, you know, he put so much of himself into that. And here's the truth, like you think back to like Rocky 2 and Rocky Run when he was wearing those suits and looking like a freaking mob guy and all of that, and then you see him in this movie struggling. Like it's a sad state of affairs, especially like if you followed the character for so long. So you know, just more than anything, like it's nostalgic for people that have been following these movies for years. And it's incredibly inspirational because like because mind you, this guy is like he has a restaurant. He's just sitting there telling stories of fights. He's sitting there, you know, trying to just figure out his life, and then he just gets a little sting of inspiration. He gets a little bit of sting of inspiration just to go have an exhibition match, ladies and gentlemen. And he has to go. Wait, I'm talking too much. I'm sorry. Let me shut up. You
No,
know why? I'm hype about this movie
you're right.
because
You should
because
be.
it's Rocky. But you know what? Let me cut myself off because I'm already 6 minutes into yapping. So, what do
I,
you guys think about this movie?
I'll share a little bit because I feel like I'm not gonna be able to give as passionate as a delivery as you two gentlemen because obviously you guys have been watching and reviewing from the very genesis of this saga. But what I can contribute to this film in particular is I definitely understand the gravity of this story and of this particular installment, like being the final chapter. I did get a couple glimpses of Rocky Five, and it just wasn't. Not only, I mean, he didn't have an actual official fight in the film, if I'm remembering correctly. And the fight, the big bad, the big fight was him in the kind of in the street, and it was his past student or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. I mean, but it's just is not. It wasn't the ribbon that this film was. Um,
No, word. I
and
agree with you. It was very
and
90s cheese.
yeah, and what I can say about this film, and this saga in general, this story about Rocky, is that it kind of surpasses that racial barrier where you can't really relate to a main character. You can't really relate to somebody because their life is not like yours. Because this is a working class guy, he has a dream to not be broke. He wants to be able to provide for his woman. You see how disciplined he gets when he's after a goal. And it definitely pays off. And what's unique about this film to me is that there doesn't feel like there's truly a bad guy. It's just the story of this guy's legacy and him sealing up his legacy, him tying up loose ends with the shattered relationship with his son, him kind of moving past the past, being able to let go of that and move into a new chapter of his life, even though he has to go back technically to achieve that. It's just something that he has to do for himself. It's something that he has to do to show his son, like, this is the legacy of our family, not any of the other BS, not all of that cloud or you living in the shadow of my journey, or my career, but this is the kind of men we are, right? And you're not gonna mess that legacy up, one, by being a coward or being scared or being too like taking in what other people think of you
A
and feeling
punk,
like,
being a
well,
punk.
I mean, so he has a high profile job, and it's like, you know there's certain things that you wouldn't want to get into because of it. And you want to preserve your individuality as a young man, right? You're doing good for yourself. And he said it. He's like, do you think it's fair that I'm built this life for myself? I'm like finally trying to do better and get from under your foot, under your shadow. And now you're doing this thing that makes no sense. I mean, there's always opposition in every one of these films. Sometimes it's from his own side, Rocky's side, that is his corner. But this time really felt tangible because it was like, sir, you're 60 something years old. Like, this is a little preposterous, but it was just enough to get me to feel emotionally invested in him at least choosing to do this, to prove it to himself, to satisfy whatever urges he had left in him to fight, and to give him and his son something to really bond over. And it just really helped resolve any fracture they had there. And that felt good. I mean, it, this this hero's tale kind of is, it's not bound to one generation. It's a story that will be classic forever, and it's something that dads will be able to share with their sons or daughters or whoever forever. And it's inspiring, just like Vic said. I'm glad to have been able to see this movie, and I guess most of them. I'm not going to say, oh, I definitely skipped 5, to be frank. But from glimpses of what I've seen, I'm glad I did. But yeah, this movie,
no, it was very
really,
filler.
really well done. And I'll say this: it's one of the few movies about an athlete that feels real, no matter how preposterous this one was in particular. It felt tangible, felt real. I felt like I could identify with these relationships he had. And he felt wise. Like he felt kind of like a dumb jock, but also wise and deeply profound in moments. And I appreciated that, like, complexity to his character. That's what I got.
Me or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
A lot of things in this movie.
I put that in the banner, and you put it and put that. Thank you. That was great.
Oh, well, no, you know,
That was great.
I try to
say that
mimic
later.
what I think you guys would think of, as well as myself watching it. I know how you get, Vic, when it comes to, like, most, you know, we've gone through this journey as Italian, Mrs. Italian Beef has said today. But like you said, we start off with Rocky 76, 79, 82 to Rocky 3. Rocky 4 still to me the greatest movie of all time. Rocky 5, which I love, but I'm a homer of the Philadelphia side of things. So I just that's little corny things I like, you know, like, hey, Tommy, I ain't hitting no bell, little stuff like that, right? But everything you said, both you guys and girls said, is it's true. Even watching Rocky 5, and I protested Balboa when it first came out. I thought it was too old. Why is he back? I didn't want to see it. I'm being honest. I refused. I didn't see it in the movie. I didn't want to see it in the movie. I was upset that it was coming out. But I finally got around to seeing it almost like 5 years later, after it already came out. A friend of mine said, hey, you got to see Balboa. It's actually really, really good. And it's a really good ending to Rocky's story. Everything you said, it's like, for him to go out a bum wasn't who he was. You know what I mean? And in Rocky 5, you touch me and I'll sue. You know what I mean? And in this one,
sue me for what?
Yeah,
what?
for what? I ain't got nothing. You know?
Yeah.
And you get to see in this, like, the court scene, like, why you had me go through all these tests if you knew you wasn't gonna approve me? Like, who are you to tell me I can't do something if I'm able to do it? Now, to me, that's the only corny thing in the entire movie, not the line, just science speaking. Rocky's not getting over what he went through. You know what I'm saying? This man was having headaches and flashbacks and all kind of crazy things. And all this came about because, whoa, something flew in my house now. What the heck? Did you see it? It was like right there.
It looked like a lightning bug. It's probably
I missed it.
So it was a whole moth.
Oh,
okay. No. But this fight, because Mason Dixon, aka Antonio Tarver, friend of the program, is a heavyweight champion in the world, 33-0, 30 knockouts. Don't get no credit because there's this bums out there, and they put this simulating fight together that they say happened in a movie with Ali and Rocky Marciano. And I just gotta say, Rocky Marciano can never beat Muhammad Ali's ass. But this fight came about, and this is where people thought, you know, it'd be good that these guys fight.
Dixon unloads on Balboa. Rocky has no answer. Balboa is eating jabs as he plows forward. Combination after combination raining down on Balboa. Oh, a jarring hook by Balboa. Now Dixon is done. He is reeling. He is almost out on his feet. Balboa turning up the heat. Pounds him across the ring. Oh, he's bit off.
And you saw the movie like I did. That's exactly how that fight went. By the way, like,
that's pretty much how it went. You know what I mean? until Dixon just came out. You a crazy old man. Like
Yeah.
what? What?
He
I want to
went
be
at
that.
it. He went at it.
Mhm.
But there's just this movie and everything. I mean, you guys really said everything that really needed to be said to me in this movie, and especially the part where we played with the son, because that's just how I feel in general in life. I know I can be a lot of I'm an aggressive person. I have an aggressive personality. I'm confrontational in a sense because I don't run from things. And to me, I think today's generation would rather write you a letter than if you tell me something you don't like, I'm gonna say, hey, why you feel that way. But that can be comfort. And that's why I dug that part with Rocky telling his son, you don't blame nobody. Like I hear people telling me, well, I ain't got no daddy, so I'm a deadbeat dad. No, you ain't got no father. You should be a great father. You know what I'm saying? May my father rest in peace. He beat my mother's ass. I ain't a woman beater. You know what I'm saying? So I don't quite understand that dynamic of because of what you come from and what you did. That's the cause of your downfall. No, you are in charge of who you are. You make your step. And I thought that was great of Rocky to push that. Even the girl, you had the incident with the stripper or the hooker, and when they're having the final fight, she's telling the pimp, "Hey, be quiet." You know, because he said something to her that stuck when Rocky said that to her. Like, yo, why are you doing this? Remember the whole thing? You're not my father. You're not my dad. You ain't better than me. All that. Like this movie, like you said from the beginning, Vic, has
Mhm.
been, and you as well, Mr. Time Beef. It's not black. It's just a hardworking man and below middle class. Like this is the majority of America not having money. And I
Mhm.
just thought this movie in itself was good. But this is where we'll take a break at. We'll come back, give our final thoughts, and thumbs up, thumbs down for Balboa. And if you haven't seen Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 review, you're watching 6 now. We still got 2 more to go because as my wife would say, shout out to Back Day. Yeah, you know that means Adonis Creed's up next. But we'll be right back, y'all, on Popular Review.
Ah, Beach Boys.
Oh, hell no. Don't you ever touch a black man's radio, boy. Yeah.
They're two cops with nothing in common
Do it again. Like this.
except the case
Hello, you have one more chance.
they can't walk away from.
Agent Carter is very passionate about finding your daughter.
Please tell me you speak English. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I heard about a third fight between you and Apollo behind closed doors. That true?
How do you know all this?
I'm his son.
Wear gloves for the reason why I gave time. Scared thugs going crazy in the cage box. Looking at the world through the TV, a day room, rapping over beats. What they play, what the key. They made electric chairs for us down day. Last meals, no pills for them to try and stay. On death row like Suge in the late pot. Maybe he could dig a tunnel while the A block.
A great fighter once said, "It ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward."
And we are back since Vic didn't bring us back in.
Yeah, we're back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes,
There
sorry,
you
that
go.
was on me. Let's thank you for joining us for Balboa. We're having fun over here. Yeah. So I guess it's time for thumbs up or thumbs down, right?
Or final thoughts, whatever you got.
Okay.
Shoot,
Well,
shoot it from the hip.
you
Break
know
your
what?
hip.
You know what? Let me tell you something you already know.
Uh-oh.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna
Nobody.
hit it's gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Stayed with me for life. For life. For life. Since 2006. Mind you, this quote was on my Facebook cover. It stayed with me for life because now, and it's funny because we're literally about to do another movie all about a can-do mentality. But this is it's amazing. It's amazing. Literally one of the best things that I've ever seen. Um, I love the way that it ended. He literally put everything that he knew into trying to get there. Didn't necessarily win the fight, but ended the movie with another "Yo, Adrian, we did it." Unfortunately, she's passed away, but the good thing is that the dynamic between him and his son, him and Paulie, just got better. Everything they just accepted everything. His
Let me
son,
jump there with you, Vic, because that Paulie thing, we've been touching on it through a lot of movies. Paulie is as much of a dirtbag as Paulie is. Paulie's really a good friend at the same
he
time. If
really
that
is.
makes any sense. I know it's a
No,
walking
mind
contradiction,
you,
but
and
Paulie
his
lost all their money, but Paulie is as true as they come
facts.
at
No,
the
because
same time.
mind you, here's the thing, and he was the voice of reason in Rocky Five. Just like you said, you should have left him in the street where you
Yeah.
found him. You know what I mean? And that was a fact. And mind you, that was all Paulie. He saw right through the guy.
You saw right through it.
I mean, from as much of a scumbag as Paulie was, he knew with his people, he knew how to keep it real. And here's
Scum
the
calling
thing.
out scum.
No, but the thing is just that like
Both Vince is
everybody.
definitely
No, no, no.
scum
But
calling out.
everybody has somebody in their life like that. Everybody.
True.
Everybody has somebody in their life like that, where they're not necessarily the best. However, in a situation like this, they know how to, you know what I mean? They know how to see the people that are gonna hurt you, basically.
I love the last round. He said, Rocco, last round of your life. That's it.
Yeah.
We're not doing this again. This is
No,
it.
and mind you, and here's the other thing I love about this movie, the stuff in the basement. You know what I mean?
Regalia.
Yeah. The stuff in the basement, the stuff that you keep with you, the stuff that you keep living in the past. All of that whole stuff between Rocco and Paulie was just
Oh my
amazing.
god.
Because like I mean at the end of this,
Don't
like
knock over the wine.
at the end of this, you just walk out of this just wanting on some motivation, bro. Like was motivated to do so many things after this and it continue. I talk too much. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I just knew he was gonna give it a thumbs up, so I'm just
Yeah.
preempting the thumb.
Yeah.
That's all I do. It's like if Chris was here, we would know. Just go ahead and put that up. You know what I mean? He was soft.
Yeah.
And honor us as we're back.
Is it sexism?
On there, he'd have been a victim of that somehow. He definitely would have been a hater. You know what I'm saying? So he's not here today. So I knew you had a thumbs up waiting. Miss Italian Beef, your final thoughts and thumbs up or thumbs down.
I think this was a nice, pretty bow to wrap this saga up with, and a nice segue to the next chapter. I know that kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but it's telling a new story. Rocky in a new, well, not a new position.
In a black way?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, no, mind you, I'm happy that they did Creed because they literally tried that in Rocky Five and it didn't work.
I
And
think you
mind
needed Creed.
when
To
Creed
be
came
honest,
around, then, hey,
you talk all the time, Vic, about why did this movie get made or does that have to get made? I personally thought Creed was needed
yeah.
because and we'll talk about that another time on. I'm sorry, Mrs. Italian Beef. Go ahead.
you good. It's like you guys were saying, it just was a nice window opening for a new chapter, told in a different light, told in a different perspective, but still something that, like many athletic supporters, like many enthusiasts of sports.
That's a jockstrap, right?
like many sports enthusiasts, it's something that unifies people, helps us get behind a story, a common idea of who is the average Joe, the average American, and us just kind of keeping hope alive and hoping that we can grind it out and fight our way to the top and keep our dignity while doing it. And I think this does that in a really good way, tells that story in a good way. It's excellent propaganda for the American dream. Thumbs up for me.
Oh man, propaganda is we talked about that. You got to Rocky 4. I mean, God, you had this man go to Russia and turn the
best.
the whole,
Come on,
the Russian war. You know what I mean?
I
Pretty much
wouldn't be
stopped the whole Russian
surprised.
war in a boxing match.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ronald Reagan directed that movie.
Yeah, well, we know he did it though. So Rocky did a lot of these movies, including Balboa. Again, I didn't want to see this movie. I didn't think this movie was needed. But watching it for about the 5th time today, I'm not gonna lie. It's something about these movies because I think Balboa was really good from the standpoint. If you watch the Rocky films, it's a perfect curtain call for him. Yeah. And honestly, and being fair here, it actually brought a tear to my eye because I thought he deserved this. Like it's something about that American story that we know it's not real, but we can enjoy through film. And I thought he got what he deserved.
Target practice for Dixon. Watch this ball now, Mace.
Moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. Get up.
Let's go, get up.
I thought it was fitting having the curtain call that he deserved to say goodbye because if we've mentioned as we get into Creed next, that's not about him. His story as Rocky Balboa is concluded. And I thought, again, as a guy who just loves movies, it's the perfect ending to a trilogy to me. And if they didn't come back with Creed, although they needed Creed, it was perfect to go out that way. He went out on top. True story, though, behind the scenes, behind the curtain, if you will, so to speak. Adrian, whatever her real name is, Candace Burgess. That's not her. That's Mickey's name. What's the chick's name that plays Adrian? Don't judge me. I be messing up names. Talia Shire. She just didn't want to play the movie. Her and Sylvester Stallone had she thought it should have stopped with 4. She came back for 5 and just didn't want to sign on for 6. And so they wrote her off that way.
10 years.
And I just thought it was a perfect ending. But shoot, I almost said it, and he's not even here. So I guess I say it all the time. So with that being said, gentlemen, with that being said, people, with that being said, guys, with that being said, of all time, but with that being said, guys, we'll be right back. We out of here, y'all. Fingers.